Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so more Jimmy Butler talk. From what I understand, two things have happened with the Jimmy Butler situation. One, he followed one of Lakers Instagram pages. I don't know if it was the main page or somebody, but he's following some Lakers stuff. And the second thing that happened is he told the Memphis Grizzlies do not trade for him. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I think the best place that I've heard in regards to Jimmy Butler is the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that he should probably have more interest in Memphis than he does. The depth on the team after making the trade for him will not be depleted, so he'll have plenty of talent around him. They need a small forward upgrade, in my opinion. He is that. And it's probably a more likely trade team that Pat Riley would be happy to make a move with. The Lakers, in order to make a trade for Jimmy right now, we're going to have to give up stuff we don't want to give. That's the thing. Or we're going to give up something that Miami would absolutely be egregious for saying yes to, which may be what Jimmy's hoping. This, to me, feels like spite. You know, sometimes we do things in life for the wrong reasons. We're mad at people, it's war, and sometimes we end up hurting ourselves trying to hurt them. Sometimes it's best to move on before moving out, so that in moving out you're not ruining your reputation, tearing up everything in the house. You see what I'm saying? You got to move on mentally and spiritually, so that in exiting you're not lighting fire to the building and getting yourself arrested for arson. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's literally what I'm saying to you in regards to Jimmy Butler. I just think he's trying to tank the chances that Pat is happy with the trade return. I think Pat would potentially be happy with a Memphis trade return if they can get back a combination of Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, or Desmond Bane. Like, that would be something that would make Miami feel good. I think he doesn't want Miami to feel good. And I think he's choosing that over an opportunity to play for a good basketball team. I don't think Memphis is particularly a bad place to live for a guy like Jimmy Butler. He played in Chicago for several years. They're a winning basketball team. With you on the team, depending on what they give up, they should probably be a championship level team, maybe even able to beat OKC in the playoffs with you. So I don't know what Jimmy's thinking, man. If the Lakers don't find themselves willing to part ways with Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and a few players, then it's going to take like 8 players for the Lakers to get Jimmy Butler. The Lakers can't give up their depth. Even though most of those players, I can argue I'm cool with giving up on. We're talking about like the worst of our roster. But at the end of the day, we're going to have less bodies. And then we're going to be trying to find makeshift players to come in, calling up guys from the G League, for which we want roster spots to do, but not like 6 and 7 of them. Changes the complete identity of the team. And now we're giving our starters like 40 minutes a game, hoping they stay healthy at this age. Jimmy's 36, Bron 40, AD's 31. It's not. I would love to have Jimmy if it wouldn't cost us nothing. If we would have held on to the D'Lo contract, maybe we feel a lot better about moving Jimmy for Jimmy, because that's $20 million right there. Then you couple that with Rui, and you can maybe move Jalen Hood-Schifino and Jackson Hayes, and that's it. But in this situation, you're moving a lot of stuff, man. I'm talking like stuff that probably Miami doesn't even want. Like, you're throwing in Vanderbilt, you're throwing in Christian Wood, you're throwing in Jackson Hayes, you're throwing in Cam Reddish, you're throwing in Jalen Hood-Schifino. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep from throwing Austin in the trade. Because I know the Lakers ain't going to want to give up Austin Reeves, especially the way he's playing right now. That's out. We weren't willing to give up on him when he wasn't playing that great. Now that he's playing like damn near all-star, there's no way our front office is going to want to part ways with Austin Reeves. That's just 0% chance. I can guarantee you it's going to take a very, very special young player to make the Lakers move like that. And Jimmy demanding out, Miami doesn't have the leverage to demand Austin from us at this point. So he's not going to be in that trade, which means that Miami's going to be taking like 7 of our players. And while we would love to move on from some of those players, we probably can't move on from all of those players. not expect to make it through the season healthy. So, like, most of the stuff that has to go, I'd love to move if I can replace it. But that we're only going to be taking back Jimmy Butler and maybe like one guy with him from Miami, that's not going to be enough depth for our team. Maybe if we could create 2 roster spots, I think that's pretty cool if we can do that. Get rid of some stuff that we don't mind getting rid of, and then bring it back 2 roster spots. We can bring up Christian Coloco and Quincy Olivari, which most of us want to do, or if the Lakers want to go a different route, maybe go get Lonnie Walker or Markelle Fultz or Dennis Smith Jr. or somebody like that. I think that makes a lot of sense too. So we want those roster spots, but we're creating more than two with the potential of this trade if we don't move Austin in this trade. So I'm not on board with moving Austin for Jimmy Butler at this point. Not the way Austin's playing. I'm not on board with that. Rui, from what I understand, the Lakers are not open to moving Rui right now, which I think is probably more posturing than anything. I think people want us to throw Rui in the trades that he'll end up being the best player moved, which I think is egregious for us. We can't afford to do that. So like a Knicks Richards trade, for example, they probably want us to move Rui. In that case, no, Rui's untouchable. You can't get him. Sorry, Charlotte. That type of thing. But for like a De'Aaron Fox or a Jimmy Butler, I'm pretty sure they'd be willing to move Rui Hachimura. But that's just me speculating. I don't know that. The word is they're not. So, you know what I mean? This is what it is, man. The Lakers made a move to get Dorian Finney-Smith. We're not moving Dorian. Like we just got him. We're not moving him. So his $11 or $12 million 3-year contract is out. Shake Milton only making like $2 million. Vanderbilt's hurt and been hurt for a while. Nobody's probably going to want him. Gabe Vincent, Miami, do they want Gabe Vincent back? Probably not. Not on this contract. So it's like, I think it would make Jimmy very happy to come to the Lakers and deplete the Lakers of all the bad players. Send all that back to Miami to piss off Pat Riley. But once he gets here, trying to keep this team afloat is going to be much more difficult than we think, because now we would have depleted ourselves of depth and continuity with a rookie coach. It's a dangerous thing to be playing with, especially when we're in, 5th place, vying for position to 4th place, maybe even 3rd if we can win a couple games. I just don't know if the Lakers are going to be willing to do that middle of the season. You can, for me, it's like you can take those players that I just said. Most of the players that we just mentioned right there, I could live without. But for the sake of depth, I can't move them all. So, if you want to pick from the litter, you can take 2 or 3 of them. Pick them. I don't care. Just take whatever you want. But all of them then puts me in a position to have to try to figure out who the hell is going to play those roles. And that may not be an easy thing for the front office to figure out after making a trade like that. So, Jimmy, I mean, not to mention that the risk is that we bring you on and that you then end up leaving because you want to opt out of a $50 million contract, which I don't actually think he'll do. But, that's the word. The plan is for him to opt out so he can play the market or restructure a better deal maybe. But, for me, if I'm the Lakers, my thinking is okay, if I make a trade for Jimmy, I want to know that he's coming here willing to take a pay cut, not necessarily looking to get paid more than $50 million. I can't guarantee that you're going to be here past next summer, trade deadline rather, because there's an expiring contract at $50 million. I'm probably going to look to move you. If you're not willing to re-sign with me on a price that I like, I'm not about to lose you for nothing. You're going to be on the move again. And as an expiring contract, I'm pretty sure I can get you out of here. So, for me, that doesn't make as much sense if I'm the Lakers, because what am I moving out? Guaranteed contracts that I'm happy to have signed with those players, like Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves potentially, or something like that. I'm moving on from DK or something like that to make Miami happy. I'm not going to move on from stuff that I would otherwise want to sign in the event I have $50 million to spare 2 summers from now. I'm going to be looking for the contracts I have on place, looking to, get Jimmy Butler. So it doesn't make sense for the Lakers. It doesn't make sense for the Lakers unless he's willing to say, hey, Lakers, I want to play for you for the next several years. If you're willing to give me a 4-year deal, I'll take big pay cut. Or if you're willing to give me a 3 and a player option, I'll take huge pay cut. You can have me at $18 million a year. Something like that. Okay, Jimmy, let's talk. But if that's not what Jimmy's on, then as a Laker fan, I'm probably not interested. I'm not interested. A Jimmy rental is intriguing, but not if it's going to cost me stuff that I really want. That's already on contract for the next several years. So that's my problem. I'm not moving Austin. I'm not moving DK. Period. I'm not moving either one of them dudes. Rui, it's negotiable. I'm not up to moving him just to move him. But if I love what I'm getting back, I can send him somewhere. Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt, if you're willing to take those players, you can have them. Like literally, if you want them contracts, we'll be happy to give them to you. That ain't gonna be a problem. You know, Jackson Hayes, and you can have this dude too. I don't have no problem with that. Jalen Hood-Schifino, I think that's the stance on the Lakers organization. I think the stance that they have on him is you can have him too. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way at all about Jalen Hood-Schifino. But I think I'm in the minority. I think most people are willing to throw him in for a bag of peanuts. And so that's the take I think the Laker Nation would take on that player too. But you know, I mean, Jimmy, I just don't see a way to get you to LA, man. I don't see a way to get you to LA that's going to make Pat Riley actually pull the trigger. But I do think you could force your way if you keep telling everybody to trade for you. Knowing that you had that player option, they should probably not be willing to. Because you could tell them you're going to opt in. Not leave, but I'm staying for sure. Which they should already expect. And that's another thing I would say if I'm Memphis. You don't want to disgruntle Jimmy, but if Jimmy's threatening to leave you, he would be leaving $50 million on the table. I don't know that you don't have Jimmy for at least another year and a half, no matter who you are. Because no matter how he's talking right now, once he gets to your team, runs around a little bit, whatever happens, however it goes. Once this summer comes up, is he really going to opt out of that $50 million contract, regardless of what he's trying to do in leveraging himself one way or another? I think the answer is no. I don't think he does, not at this age. So calling his bluff could be risky because it's his Jimmy. And you see what he's going on right now. He's trying to move out of Miami. So if he's willing to leave Miami, where he's been to the finals twice, he's not a good bet not to do something crazy. And that is the point. If he's telling the Memphis Grizzlies not to trade for him, when clearly most people can see that that's probably one of the best fits for him in the NBA right now, then clearly he ain't the guy to bet on not doing something crazy. So that, my friends, is leverage in and of itself. If he tells you not to trade for him, probably shouldn't, based on that. So with that understanding, he could probably force himself anywhere. But the question is where he's trying to force himself. Are they opening the door for him? Because the one thing he can't do is force us to take him. He can force Miami to send him here, but trying to get us to be willing to agree is a whole nother story. And if we got to give up DK and Austin Reeves, I can guarantee you he ain't going to be putting on purple and gold. I promise you that. So that's really what it comes down to. I'm sure there are other teams he wants to go to. He's already said that. You know, I think that's already been stated in Sham's initial report that was debunked as untrue, that we now know probably was true. He wanted to go to, if I'm not mistaken, the Phoenix Suns, the Golden State Warriors, the Lakers, and I don't remember what the other team was. I honestly don't. But apparently Memphis ain't on the list. So that's the end of that. But you know, Jimmy, I don't think there are too many teams better than the Memphis Grizzlies that he could go to. I don't. If he don't want to go to Memphis, that's basically saying I don't want to go to the number 3 team in the Western Conference. And that's before I get there. They're probably gonna be a lot better once they get me. You don't want to go there, bro. You probably don't really want to win that much. If I'm being honest. Jimmy Butler telling the world he don't want to go to Memphis tells me he's probably not serious about winning. And do I want to give up anything for somebody like that who's supposed to help me win a championship who don't want to win? Because that's what he's telling me when he says I'm not interested in Memphis. The hell you mean you ain't interested in Memphis? If I'm a basketball player in his situation, I'm interested in Memphis. I'm definitely interested in Memphis. They got John Moran on multi-year contract, Desmond Bane on multi-year contract, Jaren Jackson on multi-year contract, all in their prime. One of the rookies of the year candidates in Jalen Wells, another rookie of the year candidate in Zach Edey. You got Scottie Pippen Jr. coming out of nowhere playing crazy great. They can move stuff and not move any of those guys, and you're playing with all of those people. You don't want to play there? BDL 44. I thank you all for watching.